Good evening. Could you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Abernathy. Bush.
Here.
Buxton.
Here.
Dauphin.
Here.
Levesque.
Here.
Nguyen.
Here.
Nieves.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Sykes.
Here.
Tedford Jim. Wendis. Absent. Winkler.
Here.
Your Honor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go right to the adoption of the rules. So you get to read the proposed motion for the first one.
Okay, first one to the Charter, Chapter 4, Section 4, entitled Procedure. The Town Council hereby approves the adoption of the 25-27 Town Council rule as presented.
Second.
Second by Terry. All right, questions? Bill.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer an amendment to replace the rules as presented in the agenda in their entirety with the rules that are on your desk.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. I think those were the ones we were doing.
Oh, if those are the ones we're voting on, then that's fine.
The rules we're voting on are the ones that were presented, not the ones we put in the agenda.
Oh, okay. Then,
All right,
then I withdraw my amendment. My amendment.
Did you get that? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Bill.
I actually do have another amendment, a slight correction. I don't know whether this we can just correct this or if it needs to be an amendment, but under regular meetings, where it says January 2025, that should be January 2026.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that needs to be a formal amendment or if we can just make that correction.
This is the first and the second. Do you agree with that? And you seconded, Bill? Who seconded? Terry. Terry seconded. Are you okay with that correction? That's fine. You guys have that? Okay. Anybody else? Questions on the rules? I just have one. Bill, you wrote these?
We worked on them as a team.
All right. So on page 4, I'm not page 4. I'm sorry. Under general rules on number 4, at the bottom, it says town council members may make brief remarks or clarifying questions. Is that to the people coming up to the microphone?
That was the intent. Yes.
Okay.
But and just to speak to that for just a second, we've had people, constituents, express to us their frustration with not having any kind of interaction. I mean, the intent is not to make it a debate, but just so that we can acknowledge comments that are made, and if somebody says something that not sure we understand, if we can ask a clarifying question. So that's the intent of that.
So if you don't understand, I'm not quite following what you want out of that.
What we would like is when somebody speaks at Citizens Forum, we would like the ability to briefly acknowledge what they've said, make a very brief comment, or if they've said something we don't understand, or we didn't hear, maybe ask a clarifying question.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure on that one. All right. Patricia.
So it's my understanding that when individuals from the public come to speak in forum, they speak to the chair. Is that correct?
Right.
Citizens speak to the chair, not to the council. So how would you go about asking them questions when they're actually directing their comments to the chair?
Well, I mean, assuming that question was addressed to me, I assume that if one of us had a comment to make or a question to ask, the chair would recognize us. I'm not 100% sure that it's ever spelled out that citizens at Citizens Forum are speaking to the chair specifically rather than the whole council, but I don't object to the chair controlling the discussion.
Good. You're still on.
So it's my understanding that Robert's rules delineates that during the forum, individuals speak to the chair, but you clarified in that you would ask the chair to be recognized.
Well, presumably the chair, it's the chair who recognizes speakers in general. So that wouldn't be a surprise to me. In just the same way that the chair would recognize us in debate.
That would be my understanding as well. That you would be recognized by the chair to speak. All right, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposed? Abstention. 1 abstention. Jim? All right. Okay. That passes. All right. The election of the mayor pro temp. Got that one?
Pursuant to Charter, Chapter 4, Section 2, entitled Presiding Officer, the Town Council approves the election of
It's chapter 5.
Chapter 5,
And the election of blank.
the election of blank,
Keep
Mayor Pro
going.
Tem for the 2025-27 session of the Vernon Town Council.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by, I forgot your first name. Either one. What's that?
Seconded by Ariana.
Ariana. I'm sorry, Ariana. I'm going to get to know everybody's names shortly, I hope. All right, seconded by Ariana. Okay, I guess we're open for nominations. Jim?
I nominate Marianne Levesque for Mayor Pro Tem. She's visible, she's tenured, and she's got a great acumen.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded by Marianne. Marianne.
Terry.
It's going to be a long night, everybody. Seconded by Terry.
Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn, second.
All right. Anybody else? All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, you get to grab your name tag. Switch chairs. You had the front seat and you lost it. No, not at all. Did we take unanimous, that's right. All right. Marianne, adoption of the town council meeting schedule 2026.
Proposed motion, the town council hereby approves the FOI 2026 town council meeting schedule as presented in the memorandum, for Mayor Daniel A. Champagne to the town council dated November 14th, 2025.
Second.
What's that? No. We're gonna second by Phyllis. All right. Any questions on the schedule? All right. Well, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right. We're going to move on to citizens forum. Is there anybody here for citizens forum? Okay. First one up. You guys can pick. Come up, name, address, and you get 5 minutes.
Good evening. Mayor Champagne and Town Council. Congratulations on a new message. My name is Jerry Aggie.
Just pass out a handout. I'm not sure how that works.
It's got to go through the clerk. She'll make sure we all get it.
Is that better?
Can I pass?
You know what? You can sit if you want and turn that mic on. That actually may be better.
Oh, not till the end of the meeting. Okay.
Where it says
Well,
push, it
there's
should
this
turn
and
green
this
dot.
To each person. Thank you.
I'm good. He's
Is this
All
better?
right, name and address.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. My name is, wow. My name is Jerry Gagnon. My wife and I have lived at Fox Hill Drive for 46 years, and we have enjoyed all the activities available at Henry Park. And believe me, there's hundreds of them. Within the last month, the tennis and basketball courts were resurfaced, and the nets and lines will be done in the spring. I was very disappointed to learn that there's not a plan to include pickleball along with tennis. Due to the popularity of pickleball, I feel this is short-sighted. Our residents now travel to South Windsor, Ellington, and Tallinn to play. We were told that the pickleball was a noise issue and that the Fox Hill Drive residents did not want the courts due to this noise. I found that really hard to believe. So I decided to canvass my neighbors. You have before you the results of that canvass. There are 41 homes on our street. I spoke with 52 of my neighbors. 51 are in favor of the courts. One is not. His response was, absolutely not. I don't want anybody behind me. Not basketball, hardball, volleyball, tennis, or pickleball. He's lived in the park for 18 years. Oh, by the park, I should say. I'm really not sure why he bought here or why he hasn't moved, but everybody's got their own ideas. The last page, The last page is a sketch of the distances from the homes to the various activities. And you're going to see that pickleball is going to be farther than any of the other sports at the park. Please consider including pickleball when you finish the courts. As far as cost, the expense portion is already done, and the courts look fantastic. When I demonstrated the noise of the pickleball and paddle, most exclaimed, "That's it? What about the loud racing cars in the park that we experience all throughout the summer?" So I have a separate page addressing that. You'll notice that there is, it is unanimous, that's a tough word for me to say, unanimous, not like the first sheet. So our friend decided he didn't want the noise, but he didn't want any of the other sports. Thank you for your time. And if there's any questions, I'd like to answer those. But as you can see on the first sheet, there's just yeses all on the sheet. It wasn't a hard sell on the pickleball courts at all. Most people are used to a little bit of noise at the park, and they move there, and there's been noise, and there's always going to be some noise. Not excessive noise, but 20 or 30 little kids screaming at the playscape. And one of my neighbors lives, his is only 24, I think his gazebo is 24 yards from that little playscape. And sometimes he's ready to go over and take care of business with the little guys, because they do scream. If the second page, 2 through 5 are the signatures of the neighbors. And the map I was talking about, it's not to scale, but as you can see, the proposed pickleball courts are 265 yards from Bill, which is at the bottom of our street, and they're 250 yards from Eric, which is at the top of our street. That is 2.5 football fields. I mean, you would have to be some kind of hawk or something to hear something that far. But the closest is still Steve. He's at 110 yards from the pickleball. But you notice some of the other activities, the pool is only 50 yards from Kyle. I mean, talk about a pool in your backyard. That's in your backyard. And it is, across the street is another 50 yards away. So even the pool is 100 yards from, the rest of the neighbors on the other side of the street. Steve's got, let me see, the member that was opposed to the noise and opposed to pickleball, I should say, was actually Mike. And he is only 44 yards from the basketball court. Most of the neighbors, all of the neighbors, had, they said anything that's kind of the loudest in Henry Park, it's the pickleball. I mean, not pickleball, it's basketball. It actually makes a lot of racket because it's so close to the houses, for one thing. And also just, the hoopla and the yelling and screaming that happens and stuff. But they really didn't understand any of the other problems with the pickleball itself. I think that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. There's the last page. Because I was canvassing for the noise of the pickleball, I also proposed the last page. And I asked our same residents if they would be in favor of the town of Vernon doing more to control the loud exhaust systems, the excessive noise and speed of the cars in Henry Park and on South Streets. And as you can see, there was no objections to that. Not even my friend up at, not 16, whatever, Mike. So we would like to work with the town of Vernon and police department and Henry Park, especially on this noise. I know, Dan, they've been working on it, but I've watched basketball, softball games. I'm sorry, right at the edge of the park there, and I've had motorcycles come down, especially the rocket ones, and they come down and they'll stop at the stop sign, and then they turn left. And one particular night, there was a young man cranked on that throttle, and he was in first gear at the park. He was in second gear by the time he hit first base. He was in third gear by the time he hit the apartments, and he was in fourth gear by the time he hit Reed Street. Now, I don't ride a bike like that. I never have. But talking to people that have bikes like that, if you're at full throttle in fourth gear, you're doing somewhere between 120 and 140 miles an hour down South Street. Now, that is crazy. But by the time you even know they're doing it, they're gone. So I'd like to try to get some kind of a neighborhood watch or speed bumps or something in the park. One of my neighbors, Jennifer, in 33, her son plays Little League and almost got clipped crossing the road.
You just got to wrap it up quick.
Yeah. Okay. I'm kind of done. So she, I get it. There's little kids there, and they resurfaced the road in Henry Park, which is wonderful, but it makes a heck of a motorcycle, track. They come down off the tower. There's some nice curves. They blow through the stop sign. They hit that flat spot. That's a nice spot to really crank it up. And cars too. I'm not blaming just motorcycles. But that's all I have. Is there any questions? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
We're gonna keep this on record.
Okay.
Thank you. Name and address.
My name's Larry Rodriguez. I live at 2 Valerie Drive, and I've been there for over 40 years. And I'm here also to express my disappointment that pickleball is not being included in the project up at Henry Park. I'd venture to say that there are a hell of a lot more pickleball players in the town of Vernon than tennis players at this point. I play up at Star Hill, because there are no public pickleball courts in the town of Vernon. Now, South Windsor has 9 courts. Manchester has 7. East Hartford has 6. Tolland just put 3 in. Where's Vernon on that list? 0. None. And some of those towns are more densely populated than Vernon if you're concerned about noise. Now, as far as the noise issue goes, as a pickleball player, I did a little online research. Most of the homes in Henry Park, as Jerry said, are anywhere from 300 to 400 feet away from a pickleball and tennis court. If you look online at some of the pickleball studies, at 400 feet, that would be the equivalent of a quiet conversation for pickleball. Okay? I'd like to know if anybody from the town or Park and Rec has batted a ball around there and stood at the borders of Henry Park to see what the noise level would be. I don't think that has happened. Now, everybody expects noise from the park. That goes along with recreation. If you're living next to a park, as Jerry said, and his neighbors that he canvassed, they expect some noise. I was president of Rockville Little League for 4 years. So I know what happens up at Henry Park. Okay, I've heard the noise. I can hear it at my current house, okay, at times, because we're up on the hill on Valerie Drive. It just goes along with recreation. Now, that quiet conversation level doesn't even take into account trees and buildings that might be in the way that would dampen that noise also. So noise probably really isn't a concern. Now, last year, I'm lucky enough to own a condo in Florida. Last year, we resurfaced our tennis court and put lines in for pickleball courts. We made the pickleball courts the primary lines. The tennis courts are the secondary lines because nobody plays tennis anymore. So, I'd be happy to work with whoever from Park and Rec or the town is working on this project to go over costs. We've incurred the major costs already by resurfacing the courts. A pickleball net costs about $250. You can buy a do-it-yourself kit to do the lines for about $200 if you don't want a contractor to do it. So you're not adding any significant cost to this project to put pickleball courts in the town of Vernon. I urge the town council, the mayor, and anybody else involved in this project to include pickleball. Don't make Vernon a public pickleball desert, because that's what you have right now. Thank you.
How many people are here for pickleball? Just show of hands. Couple. Okay. So what are the? I'm just going to take 2 seconds here. So we've been doing a lot of things with sports lately, and moving sports around, trying to make because there's such a demand. And one of the parks is open, and the plan that we've been talking about is putting a pickleball, 3 pickleball courts on this open portion of land. And the superintendent's already said that when he redoes his tennis courts, that 2 of them are going to be pickleball as well. But one of the concerns was the noise coming from the park. But if you got all the signatures from Fox Hill, I think we can double stripe the one at Henry Park as well. But there is plans for pickleball, and we've been discussing this for some time. But I thought I'd let you guys know that before I know. So, all right. All right, go ahead, you're up.
Hi, I'm Jean Ose. I'm at 38 Fox Hill. I back up to the park. I appreciate my neighbor's research, his accurate and complete research on the issue. I'm for the pickleball option and focused on it, even though I'm not a player yet. But I also do have a concern about his other research and the safety in the park. We do hear the amount of excessive speed, and it just breaks your heart to know that is when the ball fields are full of people of all ages and the pavilion is full. And I would hate to hear the ambulances or the Lifestar there for that reason, to have to go because, you know, we didn't put a focus on it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, anybody? All right, is there anybody else here? Come on up.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Sue Frenier. I live on River Street. I just have a couple things. The first, you know, the rail trail. I walk that trail a lot. And there's been lately a lot of e-bikes on the trails, and they go very fast. They're almost like dirt bikes, and they're quiet. And they don't, like, when I used to ride my bike a lot. And if you're coming up on a walker, you usually say on your left, on your right, because you don't have eyes in the back of your head. But they don't say anything. And a couple of times I've been startled, you know, because they're right on you and then they zip right by you. So I don't know if there's anything that can be done about e-bikes on the trail. It's more of a dirt bike.
The police are addressing it right now.
It's what?
The police are addressing it. They actually just put out a pamphlet identifying what can be on the trails and what can't.
Okay, good. And then Bill HB 8002, I'm wondering, I'm sure Lamont isn't going to veto it this time. It's the housing, you know, the Hartford takes control of all the towns and what you can build. You have to have so many low-cost housing. So I'm just wondering how that, if he doesn't veto it, how it's going to affect Vernon. Are these developers going to come in and, you know, start demanding? Are we going to have to, you know, are we going to lose wetlands or farmland, or because they're saying we have to have so many low-cost housing? Or whatever they plan. And in the future, will it take over farm? Will they decide that we have to put in these hundreds of acres of solar arrays? Like, you know, they have in East Windsor, 480 acres, 90 acres was forest that was cut down, the rest was farm. I mean, what's to stop them from demanding that we have to have, you know, some of that? Are we going to lose anything? So I'm just wondering if how it's going to affect us, and if there's a coalition of all the towns to fight this if he doesn't veto it, you know, and what's it going to do to our taxes? Also, are taxes going to go up? I can't afford, you know, I live by myself. I've been in my house for 20 years, and I just, you know, if the taxes keep going up and up, I don't know what, you know, I'll move to Florida, I guess. So I don't know if we can join I'm sure there's other towns that don't agree with this if he doesn't veto it. So is there something that Vernon can do? But that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else?
How you doing? So I'm owner of 40 Elizabeth Lane.
Your name?
And I'm also on the board of directors for Whitney Crossing, which is the association. We're seeking to, excuse me, transfer.
Can I have your name, please? Name.
Mark Federico, sorry.
Thank you.
We're seeking to transfer ownership of Keynote Drive. Somehow or other, that street, which is a commercial private street, is maintained and owned and supported 100% by the 55 houses in Whitney Crossing, which is Elizabeth Lane. We have a signed petition by everyone on the housing to transfer that to you guys. We have tried. I've been owner for 2 years and have been trying for 2 years, going through the planning board, going through every place like that, and they just say no. We said you need to go do a title search. We did a title search. We spent thousands of dollars to come out with, well, we really don't own the road, but we might own the road. But either way, the documentation when this development was put in said that the builder would transfer ownership of the road to the town. Also on that road is 2 businesses, commercial businesses. So you have 55 houses paying $250,000 in taxes. That there's two businesses in the association that abut that road, and the residential people are paying to plow, maintain, do everything on that road. Makes absolutely no sense. We're not asking you to take over Elizabeth Lane. We're just trying to take you over Keynote Drive, which goes from Tunnel Road to Circle, which the road was built to spec. Has a circle at the end. It has a walkway all the way around to our development. Has the width of the road that's required. Has everything you need for the road to be transferred. And the planning board basically says, have a nice day. So I can show you all documents, all the prints. I've been going at this for, like I said, over 2 years, and I don't know what the big deal is, why we can't get this transferred. And until recently, both businesses basically told us, we're not giving you a penny. So the homeowners have been paying $5,000 a year for plowing and maintaining that road. Well, not maintaining, just plowing. There was another $6,000 to maintain parts of it. Mark Summers just recently bought one of the units, and he does give us a third of the funding for that road to help support us. The other person, which is a owner out of Baltimore, it's a visiting nurses, and they basically said, no, it's your road, you own it, you have at it. And you guys are getting taxes from both of those people as well. So for $6,000 a year, you're putting a burden on us.
I'm sorry. Is that just the small section from Route or Tunnel Road down to the complex?
Yeah. So the section from Tunnel Road to the circle is Keynote Drive, and if you dig into this thing, it's pretty dirty. Anyway, we won't go there. But to go to a circle, so also the kids are getting dropped off that live in that area get dropped off on Tunnel Road, have to cross a dangerous road versus going down Keynote and going to the circle because it's not a town road, so the buses can't go down it. Okay. So again, dropped off on a road, crossing the road. There's just so many things wrong with this why they can't take it over.
Thank you.
Do you need any data or?
I can't hear you. What? I can't hear you. What's that?
Do you want any additional data, or this is?
You should make an appointment. Come in and talk to me about it.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Talk to Diane. Will get your information if you go over there.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else for Citizens Forum? Hold on 1 second, Mark. Hold on 1 second. We need to vote to extend Citizens Forum. Need a motion and a second.
I move to extend Citizens Forum.
Phyllis?
Second.
Having a rough night here on the names. I'm so sorry. Lori.
Lori.
All right. First and seconded. Any questions on extending Citizens Forum? Do you want to extend it until we're done? Extend it until we're done? Okay. So extension till we're done from the first and the second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Come on up.
Hi, Mark Summers. I live on Brookview Drive in Vernon. I just wanted to add a couple words of support to what Mark was saying about the Keynote Drive situation. I became a property owner there, one of the two businesses that he mentioned a couple of years ago. And about a year into it, Mark called me and said, "Hey, you owe some money for snow plowing." I said, "What?" And so it was kind of a confusing issue to understand that it was a private road, and nobody ever mentioned that at the closing or anything like that. And I'm thinking, well, we must be getting a break on our property taxes or something for being a private road. But anyway, I never did get a clear answer on what happened.
So I just want to add the same, level of concern and support to what Mark mentioned as well. So maybe I can come in on that meeting as well.
If you'd like.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
All right. All right. Anybody else? No? All right. Then I'm going to close citizens forum. Hold on 1 second before you. All right. We got a couple things. So there was an incident up on Prospect Street. The chief won't be here, just so everybody knows. It was a pretty serious incident. I'm sure you're going to read it in the newspaper tomorrow.
Dan, will you say that again? I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
I said the police chief won't be in tonight because he's at an incident up on Prospect Street. It was a stabbing. So it's a pretty big investigation. All right. Got a couple things. So the annual Thanksgiving Day football game is home this year. It's Rockville High School versus Ellington, Wednesday, November 2025. Kickoff is 6:30 p.m. Winterfest is December 5th. The fire department light parade show comes to Central Park at 6:15 p.m. Santa is in the house starting at 7 p.m. Free apple cider, cookies, and candy canes for all. The Arctic Splash, December 6, 2025, is sponsored by Parks and Recreation and held at Valley Falls Park. Give Parks a call if you would like to participate or would like to donate. Most new people go jump in the water for Valley Falls. Those that missed it can catch up. It's actually it's a good fundraiser. We raise money to send kids to camp. Make sure you guys complete the Town of Vernon contact form. Even if you're a returning member, please fill in all the requested information and give it to Diane Wheelock. That way we can get a hold of you in case of emergencies or any other reason. The Town of Vernon has been notified by the Secretary of State's office that Vernon is one of 32 voting precincts selected by the lottery to undergo an audit following the November 4, 2025 municipal election. Once the municipalities and corresponding districts are identified by the lottery conducted by the Secretary of State, the offices on the ballot that will be subject to audit must be identified by the municipal clerk. The town clerk, Karen Daigle, will conduct a drawing in the lobby of the town this Thursday, November 20th at 12:15 p.m. to select 3 offices for audit. The 4 offices are mayor, council, the 4-year term of the Board of Ed, and the 2-year for the Board of Ed. So they're going to pick 3 of the 4, which 3 of them pretty much on one on most of us. Notices of the event will be posted in the lobby outside the bulletin board of Town Hall. So that's this Thursday at 12:15 p.m. Thank you to the 6th Annual Community Cleanup participants, Cub Scout Pack 47, Boy Scout Troop 27, Silk City Slammers baseball team, and employees of Suburban Subaru. The group helped to clean up Valley Falls and discovered 4 massive tires weighing 100 pounds each. I don't know where those came from. We also want to thank the Rockville Rotary, TJ's Cleanout Service, and Baylor Electric, and all the volunteers. The team of 10 collected 14 bags of trash plus some miscellaneous items from the Saxony Dog Park or the surrounding loop around the area. The town of Vernon is very fortunate to have such willing volunteers to work with our departments. One of the things that's always impressed me is our volunteers in town. We have a great group of them. That's it for mine, but we're going to go to consent, but I want to do something different with consent tonight because we have new members. I'd like to just work through each one of the 3 and just kind of explain what they are as we go. Is everybody okay with that? All right. So why don't we start with the tax refunds? Number 1.
Proposed motion, the town council hereby approves 16 prior tax refunds totaling $3,682.24 and 16 current year refunds totaling $4,328.30 as outlined in the memorandum from Terry Harjan, I always say her name wrong, sorry, Collector of Revenue, to Mayor Dan Champagne, dated November 4th, 2025.
Seconded by Jim. All right, so when you see these tax returns or the refunds, we always have pages in your book that explain what's being refunded. Now, you're going to see on one of these is Nissan Infiniti LLC. basically those are traded vehicles and such. But what ends up happening, these refunds involve somebody paid twice. So sometimes you'll have the lender pay and you'll have the individual pay the taxes. So we have to refund one. So every time we got a refund, we come back before the town council. You're going to see sold vehicles, especially from companies that have sold them during the year. They bring them all at one time and they ask for the refund. Sometimes you're going to get them in prior years. Sometimes you get them in the current year because in the prior year it's caught. Somebody's looking through stuff such as Xfinity and says, hey, or I'm sorry, Nissan Infinity. You know, they realize that, hey, I didn't get my refund last year. I paid too much or paid twice. They come back looking for it too. So when you see these refunds, that's what it is. You're going to see some bigger numbers at different times. And those bigger numbers are because somebody paid on their house twice. Or we had a business once that paid twice. And it was this huge number that we had to refund. So it's not really, you know, basically it's not taxpayer money because they overpaid. We got to return what money they overpaid. So that's what these refunds are. And you're going to see around tax time is when people are making those mistakes. So you're going to see the bigger numbers then. Okay. Any questions on those? No? All right. All in favor? Unanimous. All right. Number 2.
Pursuant to ordinance number 242, the Vernon Town Council hereby approves the reappointment of Daniel A. Champagne, Mayor, 14 Park Place, Vernon, Connecticut, to the Bolton Lakes Regional Water Pollution Control Authority for a term beginning November 10th, 2025 and expires November 7th, 2027.
Second by Jim. All right, you're going to see a lot of the appointments for different commissions, different committees. They're going to put the name. Most of them will have the resume. There's no resume on mine. Probably because this is one that when you become mayor, all of a sudden you realize, wait, I'm part of what? And there's quite a few of those. But the Bolton Lakes Water Pollution Control Authority, just so everybody knows, that is the authority that was created around Bolton Lakes. So Bolton is part of it, and the town of Vernon's part of it, and Coventry's trying to become a part of it. They're trying to sign a contract with the authority to become members. So that was a surprise to me when I first did this 12 years ago, and it's an interesting one, but that's what these are. They're being appointed to boards, and whenever one comes before you, that's required by charter that it has to be approved by the town council. Any questions on those? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. Number 3.
The Town Council hereby approves the budget amendments requests for year 25, number 9 through number 21, as outlined in the budget amendments form provided by Victoria R. Rodriguez, Budget Analysis.
Second.
Seconded by Terry. All right, if you look in your books, you're going to find the budget amendment request, or if you want to look on your computer, one or the other. I'm sorry. I have my book. It's easier for me. But if you look on your computer, you're going to see budget amendment requests. And the first one is for $12,100.85. It's under consent 3. And if you look at that, you're going to see on the form, let me make sure you guys are looking at the right form. It's this form right here. Okay. And you're going to see the money's coming from Department of Public Works, General Maintenance, regular wages, $25,185, and it's going to administration for regular wages, overtime wages, hiring incentive, and longevity. So at the end of the year, what happens is some of those accounts for wages have to be fixed, and we still make sure people receive their pay. But before we come back to the council and say, hey, I need $25,000, we see if into that same line of employee wages that we can transfer within that line item to make up the difference. And then when we do that, we want to come in and make sure that the council knows exactly what we did. All right. So you'll see that on the first one. The second one is the same thing. It's a transfer for wages. The third one is actually from contingency. So contingency, we put every year in your budget, you're going to see a contingency number. That contingency number gets put in there because we know there's contracts that we have to take care of. And we also know contracts is the biggest thing, but we also know there's other things that we put in there that we don't want to make public that we're working on, and contracts is one of them. So if you look at the transfer sheet, it's got it does not say where it's going because they have a sheet on the next one, and and this is again, these are the wages that is being made up. Number one, at a contingency, and then there's the merit pay as well comes out of contingency, and this is all contract, and it breaks it all down on that next page. And then if you go to the next one, it talks about balance fund to police, and this one is this is the overtime. Yeah, so we're taking this from regular wages, right, to the overtime. That's the one? Okay, fund balance to fill the overtime. So the police department's been short officers quite a bit in the last couple of years, and we're still short officers. So we're having more overtime because of that. So that's what this one is. It's making up the overtime, but those wages are still out there. So a lot of times it just evens out in the end. And then this is the pass-through. So on the next page, this is amendment number 13. If you see on the bottom, it says this is a pass-through. So this is special services pay. This is money that we get from contractors. So the contractor wants to hire an officer on the side of the road. The contractor provides the money to the town. The town makes sure that we pay the officers right on, when they do the job. And then that money gets put into our general fund, and it evens out. This is the even out right here. And there's actually more money in that because if they have a police car, they pay extra money for the police car. And you're going to see once in a while, I'm going to come in and say, hey, we have enough money to buy a new police car out of this fund. So every 2 years, I think, we're able to buy a new police car from the cars that they're paying for on the side of the road. And so on and so on. We have a fund balance. This one's coming right from the fund balance to other operating supplies. And this is a pass-through. This is coming from their account, correct? The senior center has their membership fund, and they also have a donation fund that they get money from that we hold in our accounts. How many do we have? We have quite a bit. All right. So do you guys get the general idea on how this works? I can go through every one of them, but is there anyone you want me to talk about that I have not talked about? No? All right. All those in favor? Unanimous. Not unanimous. Against? Abstain. Patricia abstains. Okay. So you're going to see these throughout the year at different times, and it's literally making up. Or if we as a council vote to do something, you'll see something like this as well. Okay? I figured doing it with just the three was easier than trying to pull all of them from another one. All right. Normally, we would pass those as a group unless somebody wanted to pull because they had a question on any of them in consent. So if you have a question on any of the consent agenda, you could pull one and ask the question. All right, let's go on to new business. Wait, what? Oh, we didn't vote on that? All those in favor? Oh, well, no, we did. She abstained. Yeah, I think we're all, yeah, all right, yeah, you got me. All right, let's move on to new business number 1.
The town council, consistent with Charter 11, 11, Section 5, entitled Other Officers, hereby affirms Mayor Daniel A. Champagne's appointment of Louis A. Spadaccini as a town attorney. Said term commences on November 19th, 2025 and expires November 16th, 2027.
Second by Laura. All right, questions on Lou Spadaccini? No? Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstain? 2 abstentions? Ariana and Phyllis? Okay. All right, let's move on to number 2.
New business number 2. The town council hereby approves the transfer of $76,300 from the Board of Education 2024-2025 budget as of June 30th, 2025 to capital and non-reoccurring account as requested.
Second.
Who said it? Phyllis? Seconded by Phyllis. Let me tell you what this is all about. So the board, a few years back, we on the town side, we use zero-based budgeting, and on the board side is doing something along those lines too. But if the Board of Education has extra money left over, a lot of time in the past, they would just spend it because they didn't want to lose it. We came up with a plan that if they have extra money, that it goes into this non-reoccurring account for capital projects. All right. We got everything together. We passed everything, and we've been doing this for years, and it's a great plan. In order to spend the money out of this account, they need our permission to do that. They do it in two different ways. The first way is through the budget process. So when you get the budget books for the Board of Education, you're going to see some projects in there that'll be listed under this account. Then the second way is they will request it for a project that's ongoing. So what we do is they come to us and say, hey, we'd like to spend $75,000 of this on a new classroom. They bring it to us, we vote on it. If you guys agree with what they want to do, we vote and say yes. Most of the time we say yes because, it's money we put aside from their accounts. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller, and sometimes it builds up very nicely. So, any questions on that? All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right, number 3.
New business number 3. The town council hereby authorizes Mayor Daniel A. Champagne to apply for and receive the year 2026 DRE Drug Recognition Expert Instructor Grant administered by the Connecticut Department of Transportation, and further authorizes Mayor Daniel A. Champagne or his designee to sign any and all documents for same.
Second.
Seconded by Laura. All right, so the DRE recognition instructor grant. A DRE recognition officer is somebody who will test somebody that's on narcotics. Currently, we have 2. There's been several tries to get more officers because, sometimes other towns want to use our guys because it's hard to get people into training. So what we want to do is train more people in this. And getting this grant will actually enable us to start receiving, getting more DRE instructors. Again, the chief's not here because he's at that incident. Do you have any questions? I will answer everything I can.
When they're transferred over to another town, does that mess with the wages that we were talking about before with anything?
No. So what I'm talking about is we kind of have like almost a shared services with other towns. They need somebody. So we have dogs. We have a DRE instructor. We have actually agreements with several towns that we share services where like we got a regional narcotics team. We have a regional traffic squad. We have a regional SWAT team. We're combining resources so that we have a better team rather than this. So what I'm talking about is they'll pull a car over in Manchester and they have no DRE instructors. So they will call us and say, do you have one available? And we'll send one over. Or there used to be when we didn't have as many females and we pulled somebody over and needed a pat down, we would call around other departments looking for a female officer. So it's just a shared service type of thing, but it's on a bigger scale. It saves us all a lot of money. Any other questions? Or Phyllis?
Thank you. Dan, I'm just wondering, usually we hear an amount of what the grant is, and I'm also wondering if there's any match.
Hold on one
I
second.
know we've gotten these grants before, but
There's no match.
great. That's the most important part.
Hold on, I'm looking for the... What's that? All right, he's going to try and get an amount. Sometimes they leave it open too. So we apply for it and... Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll make sure you guys have that amount if there is one. All right. Any other questions? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right. Number 4.
New business number 4, proposed motion pursuant to the town council resolution dated April 16th, 2019. Town council approves Mayor Daniel A. Champagne's appointment of Melina Stans, Rockville High School Junior, for a term to commence on December 1st, 2025 and expires November 30th, 2025.
Second.
Seconded by Terry. Phyllis?
The date is wrong. I think it's supposed to expire November 30, 2026.
Did you see that? You're right. Can you, the first and second, are you okay if we change it to 2026? Terry?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right, 2026. Thank you. Thank you for catching that. All right, is she here? Come on up and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Melina. I'm from Rockville. How is everyone?
Good.
That's good. So I'm a little nervous. I've never been to one of these type of things. I do have a poem, if that's okay.
Yes, we'd like to hear your poem.
Okay. It's called 0.8. That number to you means nothing, but that's who I am. I'm jealous. You make more than 0.8, more than I ever will. Many years trying to find my type, many doctors telling me that I'll never really know. Treatment of the wrong stuff for many years. I feel different, like I don't belong, these machines. The constant stares when my machine beeps. It brings me back to that little kid who was told that she can't have sugar. It's so draining, I want to quit, but I'm stuck with you for my whole life. But I'm sick of it. I thought I would never find love with you because who wants to be with someone who beeps? Who falls asleep at restaurants when their blood sugar's too high, or who stabs himself every day. I shake, I stumble over my words, I can't walk. Why can't I just be normal? I hate you, I hate everything about you. You make me feel the way I do, but do I really hate you? My type 1 diabetes, why do you make me feel this way, like I'm different? Growing up with you was hard enough, but everyone thinks I got you from eating too much sugar or junk food. But they don't understand. What are these machines? Am I like a real-life robot? It feels cool in a way, but it's not my fault for trying to hide you, because deep down I should embrace you. Sure, you make my body not fully work, but you are beautiful. You make me who I am, and I shouldn't hide you from the world. I love you. I love my diabetes. I love when I shake when I get low. I love getting out of class when I am. I love diabetes. It makes me different, so thank you for giving me this challenge you knew I could take. Thank you.
Is there any questions? Phyllis?
Not actually a question, but I guess we all missed that the motion doesn't say poet laureate. It just says appointment of Melina Stans for term. So I think we want to amend the motion.
Does not. We will amend it. Can you just add poet laureate?
I'd like to amend it. I'd like to amend it and add poet laureate.
Second.
Second by Terry, still. Okay. All right, do we have to do it's just a correction from the first and the second. Are we good with that? Okay. Anybody else? Questions? You didn't look nervous to me.
Oh, really?
You did very well, Ariana.
Not a question, but want to commend you for sharing your poem with us today. It was wonderful, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Laura.
Thank you, through you. Just want to commend you for a beautiful poem that really spoke of something that you're very passionate about and affects your life in every day. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
You're not the only type 1 diabetic sitting at the table here.
Yeah.
30 years our town administrator. So, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to
Mr. Mayor.
New business.
Unless I missed it, we need to vote on that motion.
Did we didn't vote?
Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
Did.
Boy, what a night, huh? All those in favor? Unanimous. Hey, come on. It's our first day back. It's my deputy mayor. She's not on top of this.
It's new to me. Sorry, guys. I'm just learning.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you. Proposed motion, new business number 5. The town council hereby approves the following policies for the Rockville Public Library. Rockville Public Library Collection Development Policy, Material Review and Reconsideration Policy, Review and Reconsideration Form for Library Programs or Displays, Rockville Public Library Display Policy, Library Program Policy, Request for Reconsideration of Material as presented.
Seconded by Laura. Okay, why'd this come around?
Good evening, everybody.
Actually, can you introduce yourself, new council?
Absolutely. My name is Jennifer Johnston Marius. I'm the director of Rockville Public Library.
Is your mic on?
Good to see all of you this evening.
Is your mic on?
I'm a librarian. I talk quietly. So yes, thank you for having me here this evening. Through you, the mayor. So we previously had a collection development policy and a material review policy, or material review and reconsideration policy, which was passed by the council about 2 years ago, right around this time, I believe. There is now new policies that the state and the state library are requiring of us, and they also asked us to amend the collection development and material review policies. I have to say I've worked in 3 other states prior to Connecticut. It's very common for states to have certain standards for public libraries. It was very unusual to me that Connecticut didn't have any when I first started here 7 years ago. And I think they're just kind of, if I'm honest, playing a little bit of catch up. It's pretty standard to have like requirements that all libraries are kind of following certain policies and having certain practices in place. And so this is, kind of their first steps into starting to do that. So I'm happy to answer any questions. They're all pretty standard and straightforward.
Bill?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Again, not a question, but I reading across these policies and forms, I was grateful to see the strong support for intellectual freedom and opposition to censorship. I know these are challenging times, and I was very happy to see that. I know some of that is pursuant to state standards, but I'm glad we're standing for those things. Thank you.
Of course.
Anybody else? All those in favor? Opposed? One abstention. What's your first name again? I'm so sorry. Tao. Dang it. It's going to take me a couple. I'm sorry. Tao. Oh, you'll get me later. All right. Thank you.
New business number 6.
Yep.
The town council hereby authorizes Mayor Daniel A. Champagne to apply for and receive the state of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection Recreational Trails Grant on behalf of the partnership between Vernon Parks and Recreation and the Hop River Trail Alliance in the amount of $61,700. Further, the town council authorizes Daniel A. Champagne or his designee to sign any and all documents for same.
Second.
Who's the second? I'm sorry. Phyllis. Okay. So we are going to be the fiduciary of the grant. The Hop River Trail Alliance is the alliance that basically developed the whole new trail system that came through Vernon. Instead of Vernon being on their own, we became part of this Hop River. So Deep actually took over our main trail that goes from Manchester to Bolton, and then they turned it into a state park. So there's a lot of different rules. We need permission to actually go up on there and do work. It's just a little more red tape. If working with the state, sometimes it just creates a little more of a headache. Anything that's a danger, we're going to go up and fix, and we'll talk to them later. That's my opinion on that one. So we'll be the fiduciary, and it is to work on that. This is not the spur. This is the main one, right? The spur's a different grant. Okay. Yeah. So this is the main trail. Any questions on that? Laura.
Yes, so is this amount of money, do we have to have any matching, or do we have shared services or anything that is included with this?
It'll be a 20% in-kind match, which means our volunteers will make up the difference.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, anybody else? No? All those in favor? Unanimous. All right, before we go on to the next one, Phyllis, that amount of the grant is $33,433.41. You're welcome. Did everybody get that? $33,433.41. All right. All right, let's move on to the next, number 7.
New business number 7. The town council hereby approves the extension of the contract between the Hockanum Valley Community Council Incorporated for providing opioid services to the town of Vernon in the amount not to exceed $56,432.80, inclusive of all services and deliverables, recovery groups, case management, and educational events.
Seconded by Laura. All right, so before we get on there, I want to talk about where this money comes from for this. So there was a large lawsuit against the drug manufacturers, specifically the opioids, and as a settlement, they are paying out, I think, billions, and we get a percentage of that money. And one of the ways that the town council previous decided as a group was that we wanted to provide free drug services or addiction services through Hockanum Valley with a counselor. And Hockanum Valley stepped up and said, yeah, we'll help you out there. They've been a good partner with us, and you guys all know that. So we've had the 1-year extension. They're here to talk about it. Or we had 1 year already. They're here to talk about the extension and give us some good news about what we've already done. Can you just introduce yourselves?
Sure.
Both of you.
Yeah, my name is Stephen Jackson. I'm a program director at Hockanum Valley Community Council.
And I'm Matt Hellman, Director of Social Services for the town of Vernon. You should have received or seen a memo that, at least from Social Services, I am recommending that or requesting the town council approve the request through the mayor, Mr. Mayor. It is at the same amount as the first year. Hockanum Valley, for those of you who don't know, is currently funded through the town to provide services for clinical services, food pantry, transportation, and elder services. So it's a lot of wraparound care for individuals who often don't have just one need. And as the mayor referenced, we did previously contract with them with ARPA funding to provide services to individuals affected by COVID. So this is similar to that. We, both myself and Michelle in Youth Services, work closely with Hockanum Valley with populations that we serve. So we do see firsthand that the good work they do, they're referring people to us, we're referring people to them. It is a very good working collaboration. In the first year, Hockanum Valley focused on clinical services for individuals as well as services for the families, because opioid addiction doesn't just affect the individual, it affects the family. So peer and family support for those groups, as well as education in the community. New this year, after meeting with Hockanum Valley and talking about how did it go the first year, they are going to increase focus on youth at the schools, our senior population, which is also not immune to opioid addiction, as well as other substances that coexist with opioid use disorder, because oftentimes you're not just abusing opioids, it's other drugs as well. And I think this would be a great time to pass it over to Stephen.
Thank you, Matt. I don't have really much more to add. I think Matt summarized it well, and I believe in the agenda you do have the materials that were provided. Yeah, the emphasis for this next year, in addition to the clinical interventions that we make available for loved ones and individuals that are suffering directly with opioid use disorder, is peer support, recovery groups that are drop-in and open to the community, case management services, educational events. There is this broadening that we're striving for, like Matt touched on, and the populations that he touched on, it really is what it is, and then being more inclusive of other ways that addiction manifests more broadly, because we're capable to do it. We have the expertise to do it, to support people. If someone comes into one of these services under the CBA, the Connection Beats Addiction campaign, and they identify that they have a different kind of a substance use problem, we're not going to turn them away. So we spoke a little bit to that inclusivity of other problems that people might be having with substance use. And I'll leave it at that. If anyone has questions, that's what I'm here for.
About how many people have you seen in this last year, like individuals?
For individuals, yeah, go ahead.
So through you, Mr. Mayor, Hockenham Valley did provide quarterly progress updates, and based upon a calculation of those, we came up with about 225 individuals that they had served during the year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And some of those are multiple times they've seen them?
Those could be multiples, yes.
Okay. All right. Questions? Laura.
Thank you. Hi.
Lord.
Thank you very much for this program. I noticed that in your case of families, you're having basic needs, but I don't see housing. Is housing an issue with this demographic? And if so, do you have a way to try to help them with that, with the other needs? Like I see security, medication, acquisition of food, and insurance, but I don't see housing.
What was the population? I just didn't.
No, I mean, according to your statement that the needs that you help, basic needs include insurance, entitlement, food, security, medication, transportation, and vocational needs, but I didn't see housing. Have you noticed that housing is something that is part of this problem or no?
Sure. The short answer is yes. Housing continues to be an opportunity, continues to be a problem. And through our basic needs program and case management, we exhaust all the efforts. We exhaust all the tools that we have in the toolbox. There are some programs that are judicial programs that are referral only, that do have more aggressive or robust housing supports in them. There's a possibility that if a person is seeing us and they do have legal leverage, that with a release of information, we could follow up with their referral source and ask for them to send a referral for one of these alternative programs. That's one way that we could do something more special. Beyond that, kind of everyday people not qualifying for programs that have legal leverage, it's a lot of the same tools. We don't have a special to say like a housing unit or something like that. But what we can do is be advocates. So we can speak to whoever that housing owner is, or collaborate with a landlord, or collaborate with people.
I'm going to stop you because we've gone outside what we're talking about with the grant.
Okay.
So we got to make sure we stay within what we're talking about. Okay.
So,
but I let them go for some time, but
sure.
All right. Any other questions in pertaining to the grant? Bill.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. The mayor actually asked my question about the scope of the services you've provided in the last year, but just as an extra little bit of question, did those numbers include the family and peer services you were talking about, or was that just immediate patients?
It does include the family and peer support. Through you, Mr. Mayor, it does include the family and peer support.
Thank you.
No, I think this is a great way to spend that money.
Just a point of clarification, the paperwork that I have in front of me has a project timeline on it. The date listed on the paperwork says that it's to services to begin August 1st, 2024. I take it that's from when this grant was first requested.
Hold on. Which page are you on? October 8th, 2024. So
I'm thinking
the yeah.
I can.
Hold on a second.
Mr. Mayor,
what page are you on? Yeah,
would you like me to answer that?
Yeah, go ahead.
When Hockenham Valley put their proposal together, that was the date of August 1st, 2024. We didn't get the first contract signed until October 8th of 2024. We're now past the actual 1 year, so yes, we're asking for a renewal of a second year. It would start when we signed the addendum for this contract.
So through the chair, we'll be updating this date going forward.
Hold on 1 second. I don't think we have a date in here. What is the start? What was the actual end date for the first year contract?
It was 1 year of service, and the contract was signed on October 8th.
October 8th. So the date we're talking about now is October 8th of 2025 for the coming year. Or are we starting that date today? Because we didn't pass anything in October, so I think
we did not.
So I think the date that we're talking about should be tomorrow.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. So that I think the date of actual start is tomorrow, because we're voting tonight, which is tomorrow is the 19th. Right. So that's but this is not the contract. This is the paperwork. So what we're doing right now is we're only voting for the extension. And then once we put the contract together, that will have the date. Okay. All right. So this is only the extension right now. All right, Phyllis.
Thank you. I'm wondering, this is a long-term project. It's not a quick fix, but I'm wondering how you measure success with your clients.
It's a tough measure.
Success measuring, tracking is primarily handled through our electronic health records. There are certain metrics that we can query. Some of it is going to be in a narrative form, so someone might have to. This is somebody's project and an excellent project. What we're looking for as a metric is what we would label as a successful completion, and then ideally, when that person returns to services, if they're returning and then the previous problem is resolved, then that would not be, recaptured as a continuing. If we're talking about substance use disorders, not a continuation of the substance use disorder, if they were a returning client. So we'd be looking at certain probably diagnostic criteria, and then to see that has been resolved. And I believe that there is a way I'm not the guy that knows how to do that. I'm the people guy, one of the people guys. But we do have a way to query our EHR to look for specific metrics to see if people have successfully completed that have certain problem cases.
That's great. Yeah, it would be lovely to see that at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, and then of course there's always the anecdotal success stories, which we thrive on and we love. And those are important to record too, and we carry those forward. But as far as that raw data, that is something that we intend to track using our electronic health records.
Great. As a retired teacher, I certainly understand the importance of the anecdotal information. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Through you, Mayor. Question about this grant. Do you see or forecast any issue with things? I think you guys mentioned COVID. Are those funds might be taken away or that you guys can see as a problem reoccurring later on?
So the funds that we're talking about are actually through the town, and that's money that we're getting from the opioid settlement. And right now we're going to be getting it for years, and that's why it's a 1-year extension. So if they ever stop and we run out of money, then we relook at the whole situation. Okay. You're welcome. Ariana.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just looking at your project budget. Was curious. I know that this was submitted in 2024, and it looks like there's been no changes to the total expenses. Is there, any particular reason you feel confident that the 100 Narcan is sufficient for this mission? Do you feel like this is adequately supporting, the initiative?
Sure. As far as the allocation of the funding, our CFO would be able to speak most precisely to that. Broadly speaking, if this is what was submitted, it's because this was what was found to be adequate. As far as the Narcans, I believe that we do still have some carryover going into the next contract, which is good. We always want to have those on hand. And I believe that this was just found to be the successful allocation.
If they want more, they're going to kind of come to us and say, hey, we want to, and we'll negotiate it back and forth before we bring it to next year if we continue the program. Okay. Anybody else? All right. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Michelle, you were here. You want to just introduce yourself? Come on up to the mic for a second.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michelle Hill, and I'm the director of the Youth Services Bureau in Vernon. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 8.
New business number 8. Proposed motion, the town council hereby accepts the generous donation of $250 to the fire department and $250 to the police department. And we extend our thanks for the Tractor Supply Appreciation event.
Second.
Seconded by Laura. Yeah, so anytime there's a donation, a lot of people are going to bring it in here for you guys to accept the donation. So a vote is actually accepting the donation from Tractor Supply. All right, any questions on that? Right now it's in a donation account. Laura.
I'd like to thank Tractor Supply for this, and also for the fire department. I'd like to thank them for having an event to raise toys for our Toys for Tykes event for the fire department. And it's a great event that they bring in so many toys and donations.
Stay on topic.
It's right there. That's what the money is for. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on that? All right. All those in favor? Unanimous. All right.
New business number 9.
Number 9.
Proposed motion. The town council, consistent with the town of Vernon personnel rules and regulations, section 4-1B, entitled Job Descriptions, hereby adopts the job description of Collector of Revenue.
Second.
Seconded by Terry. All right. So Terry Harjani. Gosh, I have to pull that. Let's probably say Terry.
Yeah.
Terry has given her notice that she's retiring. And so in the process of that, we are going back out. And she's been here for how many years, Dawn? Oh, I threw a question out there.
Yeah, on the spot, Mayor. I'd have to look back.
2007. So that the last time this job description was updated was in 2007. So we figured it's time to update it a little bit because we've added a couple more responsibilities onto that position. Don, you want to kind of just go over it a little bit?
Sure, through the mayor. This job description actually was updated last in 1999 during the Swords report, which was a report doing comparisons for wages with various municipalities. So it's been a while since it's been updated. The majority of the updates were in conjunction with some recommendations from Terry herself and updating the ADA requirements along with the knowledge, skills, and abilities to be in compliance with what the current role requires.
Questions? Phyllis.
Just curious because highlighted is the wage classification. So does that mean it's an increase or lower than what Terry was getting? Or the same, but it's highlighted. So
through the mayor, it's because the original wage classifications were very different back in 1999 than the way what they are in our new current system. So it's just it's the same wage classification. It's just updated to reflect what is in our system.
Thank you.
Bill.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. I'm assuming that this, because it's been so long since this description was updated, that this just reflects bringing the words up to match what the position has evolved into, or are we actually changing the scope of the position?
Some things have been added. And one of the things is, if you look down, you're going to see that Bolton Lakes Regional Water Pollution Control Authority was added onto there. As part of that, we split the administrative duties. So all the administrative running the authority goes, Bolton pays for, and we pay for all the billing on our side. Kind of splits the costs that way. So there's been some things added, and a lot of it's just the word language, but you want to fill them in too? I'm sorry.
Through the mayor. And since this job description was last updated, we reinstituted a deputy collector of revenue. So this oversees the deputy collector of revenue who oversees the WPCA taxes.
Yep. All right.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Unanimous?
Thank you.
All right. Number 10.
New business number 10. The town council hereby approves the disposal of fixed assets for the Vernon Fire Department as disclosed on the fixed asset disposal request form.
Who seconded it? Lori seconded it. All right. You're going to see some of these forms as you go through as well. I really kicked this into gear when I became mayor because we had a lot of stuff sitting in basements. We had a lot of stuff. And what we need in order to get rid of something in the town of Vernon, and on the school side, you have to come through the town council because it's a part of an asset. When we say dispose of, we don't talk about taking it out to the dumpster and throw it away. The first thing we try to do is, number one, if there's another town department anywhere, school, town, water pollution control, if anybody can use whatever we want to get rid of, it'll go to them first. Number two, we try to sell it. And we have a Public Works runs some sort of an auction type online, and it gets sold through there. If we can't sell it, we try to sell it for scrap before we throw it away. But it goes through the processes, and hopefully we can reuse it or make some money off it. Chief, what are we getting rid of?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. Steve Upper, Fire Chief of Delaware Fire Department. Congratulations on all the members of the council on the position. Look forward to working with all of them in the next 2 years. We are getting rid of two well beyond their lifetime breathing air compressors. Chief of Town Council, we are able to purchase the council funding last year as one replacement compressor. This compressor basically fills the SCBA bottle to where we have to go into the ideal environment. Most people have this conception that the periodic that we don't carry this normal breathing air in our room right now. It's compressing with a high pressure cylinder, allows us for about 20 minutes of breathing time in that environment. The first compressor we're getting rid of is well over 20 years old, well exceeded the 15-year lifespan. No longer making it hard for it. It has good life, it serves us well, but it's time to say farewell. My guess is most likely end up with scrap, although we like to offer it for those with injury at the end of that. We purchased a replacement or a second compressor back in 2012 to complement the compressor that the siding compressor. We were having problems with that one after 10 years. Again, running into handle issues, parts coming close full. That one was not doing too well either. So the one compressor replacement that we did get, it's replaced both of these. It does a great job at it. As well as we utilize booster pumps, which are small pumps that we fill off stored air levels, large stored air. So every fire station has a way to air. This compressor now sits at station 1. Utilize there, until it fills up on mobile air units. Again, both compressors served us well for many years. And we space, garage and sanitary, so already feeling that seating.
Okay, well, Steve, I gotta say, usually when we do this to get rid of stuff, we just kind of vote on it but you were probably the most specific on us getting rid of something than anybody in the entire time I've been here.
What really wants this gone?
Well, you came here to make sure we get rid of it. Any questions for the chief? Jim.
Through the mayor, the technology on those compressors changed a lot over the years.
Yeah. Reading air facts have also changed a lot over the years, going from the older styles into the 2000 PSI model. Very on the back. We carry 4,500 PSI bottles on the back. They have technology that's actually higher pressure than that, but it's seen more changing over that particular requirement.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody else? Phyllis.
I'm glad you came up to talk. Through the mayor, I have, since we had 2, it seems like there was always a backup. And I know you said this has the capacity to cover what the 2 did. Does it make sense to have, maybe not this year, but looking forward, staggering so we have another newer one?
Previous mayor, it's a good concept to potentially do that. However, again, the technology has changed. These are longer lasting. And we're also part of related. So we can share resources between the partners. We actually had in time both these compressors inside the American Network. They're both not working. You're able to go over to Bolton with our service truck, air truck, refill our trucks there, and come back to able to do so. Our mutually neighbors captured as well. Vessel systems, lost rails, that sort of backup. But certainly something we look at. Maybe if we get to that back there, those 5-7 year mark on this, but we eventually will set you on the instead.
Yeah, and with zero-based budgeting, it'll be 0, 0, 0, and then we'll pay for it when it's time to get the new one. So, but thank you, Chief. All those in favor? Unanimous. So the next one's going to be run just like this will be the normal one. Go ahead.
New business number 11, proposed motion. The town council hereby approves the disposal of fixed assets for the Board of Education as disclosed on the fixed asset disposal request form.
Seconded by Lori. These are pianos, so if you watch the website, you really want a piano, now's your chance. There's 3 of them. Okay. All right. Have any questions on the pianos? Terry.
Just one question. Is there any way that any of these can be donated to anyone that's into Fox Hills music?
If we started doing that, everybody'd line up for all of the stuff and we wouldn't make the money. So, but like I said, you go to this website, usually you can get them pretty cheap.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Do we know if these have been replaced?
I do not.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All those in favor? Okay. Against? Abstention. Patricia, one abstention. Okay. All right. Where does that lead us? We are almost there, guys. Adoption of the minutes.
The town council The town council hereby waives the reading of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 21st, 2025, and moves to approve and said minutes.
Seconded by Terry. All right. Did anybody check to see if Jesse's name was spelled right? Okay. All right. Is there any corrections or deletions for those that were here at that meeting? No? All right. All those in favor? All right. Abstentions? Anybody against? All right. One abstention. Ariana. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on. There's two abstentions. Oh, hold on. All right. Look, let me get this, guys. As soon as after you vote and we go to the next vote and we're done, it'll be too late. This time I'm going to let you correct. It doesn't matter if you were here or not. What you're doing is you're just voting these through. Okay. So you did not have to be here to vote for that. You're part of this town council. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to take the vote over again. All those for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are against. Abstentions. 3 abstentions. Got them? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Ariana. What's that? If you haven't done your form, make sure you do your form. All those 4 in favor. Thank you. Well, long night. Put your hand up if you want to abstain. Or I'm sorry, if you want to. If you want to go home, put your hand up. Okay, unanimous.